Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And before I get this video started, I just want to wish all of you a happy new year. We are now officially part of 2021. So I hope all of you have a good year ahead. And of course, we're going to forget 2020 altogether. And I hope all of you have a great 2021. So now that we started 2021, in the last few days of last year, some analysts and I know some investors are concerned about Verizon's 2020 performance on the stock. It was kind of stagnant. It really didn't move high and it didn't move low. It kind of just flatlined a bit there in 2020. And now they're trying to figure out on how Verizon makes progress on bringing the stock up to the $70 price target that some analysts have given the stock. So, according to Barones, and I'll leave this article in the description down below, they need to show 5G progress next year. I honestly have to disagree here. I don't think that's going to be it. We've seen 5G progress from them, and it's been in the DSS side and then millimeter wave. That hasn't moved the stock at all. They've had the most scale on millimeter wave out of any carrier this far. And their DSS, yeah, you could say that's behind, but that's not really the performance standard of 5G at all. LTE is performing better versus their DSS technology still. So 5G is not going to be it. I think, in my personal opinion, I think right now what investors are thinking is, how is Verizon going to drive revenue and profits based on the fact that they are primarily, on a large scale, a pure wireless player, and short-term spending is going to be heavy right now. They skipped spectrum auctions during the LTE era. Now they have to invest heavily on C-band. Very heavy. They're going to spend the most on the C-band auction by far. They spend heavy on the millimeter wave spectrum, which they are clearly utilizing and deploying at scale. But that's going to take a lot of nodes and fiber and to be deployed to really have a meaningful impact of that frequency, which Verizon is going to do, but it's going to take them a while and a very expensive investment in the technology. We're talking repeaters. We're talking partnerships with big box retailers like Walmart, Target, potentially Sam's Club, to bring the nodes indoors. So that's going to be a very heavy investment in itself, beyond the investment that they have to make on C-band and then leverage the CBRS as well. So there's plenty of spending that short term that Verizon's going to have to do. And I think investors are really questioning, how does Verizon drive further revenue and profits? So Fios, they've talked about it years ago. Fios has never expanded, according to what they were telling us publicly. So now we can say enterprise is likely going to be it, but even that is going to have to be at scale. So they're making partnerships here and there. They got the Walgreens partnership. They got Amazon. They just announced WeWork. But they have to work through plenty more Fortune 500 companies to really make it a meaningful impact on the balance sheet, I feel. So they're going to announce many more deals. MEC is coming as well to more cities. So they're launching that. But again, that's all of that at the forefront is a huge investment that many fear. I've received many emails from some insiders, from some people that have very close knowledge. They're fearing that Verizon is going to be forced to increase pricing anywhere from $10 to $25 in a very competitive environment that may not work out so well for them. Again, T-Mobile right now is a value creation player in terms of pricing, and now they have the assets to really back them up. If they deploy that correctly and they put some serious funding behind it, they could very well be one of the best competitors in the entire industry. Although right now, we got to be honest on the channel. They went from having the best value to likely having the worst now in the entire industry. Do they fix that behind the scenes? Yes, maybe they're working on it. But Verizon now has the best value creation. I got to give that to them. Apple Music, the Disney Plus bundle, that's almost $30 of value right there. Disney recently expanded the pricing of the bundle to like $18.99. Apple Music, I believe, is $12.99. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's huge value. And then HBO Max in itself is a value proposition because of the fact you get all of the brand new movies day one on the application. Now that could end come end of 21. Warner Media could very well say that's it, no more. But we will have to see how that plays out towards the end of this year. So how does Verizon create more, drive revenue and increase the profit proposition versus the spending that they're getting ready to do? And they do have about $107 billion in debt on the balance sheet. So I think home internet is one that they're going to push. But again, it's a saturated market. They're going to have to compete for those customers. So that may mean additional rebates, additional marketing dollars. So they're going to have to invest in those customers as well. So there may be a TV play, YouTube TV, you get a 20% off if you bundle it with our home internet. That's a potential value creation there. They could make the Verizon Fios TV portion, they could make it OTT nationwide. They could make that a streaming service and bundle that with the home internet. That could potentially work as well. So there's many options for Verizon, but I think in 21, they have to seriously consider going after that aggressively very early in the year to give its investors confidence. I think the investors now know that the network is going to be fine. They're going to handle the network. They're going to be able to continue growing. But at some point in a competitive market, and we don't know what the consumer spending looks like after the pandemic, Verizon may be not overtaken, but they may lose out to a lot of the MVNOs, prepaid, and some of the T-Mobile offerings. Some of those customers may gravitate towards that because the consumer spending changes. Does that necessarily happen at mass? Maybe not, but I am hearing on the market share front, Verizon is going down in market share in some areas in people favoring MVNOs and cheaper deals. So it's going to be a very interesting 21 for Verizon on how they further position themselves. They got the most value creation, I think, in the industry now. They just did another 12 months with Discovery Plus. Maybe that becomes permanent. But I don't think they can do anything better on the value proposition. I think they are the best now. So they have to figure out on how they really drive revenue and profits in the future. Home internet is going to be a tough one. Again, there's more competition there. It's getting very saturated. Streaming OTT, you could make the argument that that's getting saturated as well. So it's going to be very interesting how Hans Vestberg and his team really come together in meetings and figure out how they really compete further on a nationwide scale to create revenue and profits for the company beyond wireless, based on the fact that they're going through a heavy investment now with more spectrum purchases. They got to leverage those assets. So that's another investment. And then millimeter wave, I think, will be the driving force, but it's also going to be very expensive to roll out plenty of those nodes, including the fiber that they got to bring to a lot of the cities. They don't have a massive fiber footprint like AT&T does. So in a lot of areas, like I've seen Boston, that market was a $300 million investment to roll out its own fiber. So I'm anticipating between 100 to 300 million on average in a lot of the big top markets for them to roll their own fiber. So that's going to be very expensive for them to do as well. So like I said, I've said it in previous videos, what Verizon is doing in the short term is cash intensive. It is very heavy on investment, and most investors are ROI driven. They're looking at a return on investment. And right now Verizon has to really come out publicly and really show at the media analyst day, which is coming next month for all companies, on how they create that profit and value, and for the investors to remain, investing in the company. Because if not, we could see another year of that stock just kind of flatlining, going down a bit, going up a bit, but nothing really crazy in terms of upside for the future. Now the FiOS product, I think they do compete very well where they do exist, but they haven't really brought it anywhere else. So maybe they do start bringing that nationwide where they do roll out their fiber. Maybe they start doing the FiOS bundles in those markets. That could be a possibility. But again, as I mentioned earlier, they're still going to have to compete. It's not like customers are just going to up and leave and move over to FiOS. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. This will be the video to start off tomorrow morning. Like to hear your guys' input for 21 Verizon stock. Again, I'm no financial advisor. How do you feel about it? Do you think there's upside to the stock, or do you think Verizon struggles a bit in terms of the creating value for the investors throughout 21 until they can really figure out how to drive revenue and profits without having to increase pricing too drastically on the wireless side? So again, if you are new to the channel in 21, or you have been on the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you are notified through YouTube when I do upload the content and it goes live. Also, make sure to follow my social media outlets for more updates. There will definitely be more updates on Instagram. T-Mobile is getting ready to ramp up new capex capital spending for 21. So we're in Q1 now. Q2, Q3 is going to be very, very busy. And then same for everyone else, of course. AT&T and Verizon are starting a new year of capital as well. So make sure to follow the Instagram, also the Twitter. The videos are going on the Twitter as well in case YouTube does not push out the notifications fast enough to your liking. And thanks again for watching. This is Tyrone with Tech Life, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.